Hello out there in X land. Welcome to X Tonight. Impromptu X Tonight. It will be a short show again tonight, 30 minutes. I got things to do. And they have launched the new national verification system on X. So let's see, talking about the world and stuff. And yes, I am American. I am an American, people. I'm not a fraud like some of these people on here that are from like Nigeria. We don't know who we've been talking to. Like Adam, he's based out of the UK. But yeah, a lot of these accounts stirring shit. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the world. All right, so it will be a 25-minute show. I'm busy today, but I want to just make sure that I just pop on. I got to go work tonight. So tomorrow will be the long show. Tomorrow I'm going to have a show at 7 o'clock Pacific time. It'll last about 2 hours. And we're just going to just bullshit for 2 hours. Fun Sunday. Just talking about anything and everything. So we're going to have a little fun today. We're going to see what's going on in the world, and we are going to mock the ones that are stupid and highlight the ones that are smart. Pretty simple. Starting off, clandestine. Do you know why I'm so frustrated? Because instead of talking about pertinent topics like Trump's negotiations with Russia, Ukraine, the Dem shutdown, new Saudi Arabian alliance, better deal in the Middle East, Antifa, people are focused on clickbait slop. Be better. Indeed. Or rage bait. Yeah, I see a lot of rage bait. That's why I blocked that Ian Miles Chong clown. Because every post and he's out of like the UAE, by the way. Every post by that clown was like, oh, look at this, black people in South Carolina acting foolish. Come on, get out of here. You're just stoking flames, man. He looks like a character out of Ian Miles Chong looks like a character out of Game of Thrones. Somebody living in the woods under mushrooms or something, Ian Miles Chong. What a clown. Brittany Ray. She's a good follow. I like her takes. Yeah, I like her because she does research and throws out people who, all these Groyper accounts are like in Pakistan, Nicaragua. Yeah, she did some homework. Newswire. US is out of the UK. Yeah, John Podesta. He might be in Singapore. He likes them young, from what I've heard. Anna Paul Luna. All these pretend pro-America accounts that were pushing and fighting within MAGA are really foreign grifters. I'm telling you, the foreign op is so real, and so are the bot accounts. James Lindsay was right. Yet again. What is Jeffries? Oh, here's Hakeem Jeffries again. Both Republicans are in free fall. The American people are done with these extremists. Now it's time to go to Dollar General. I'm the general manager. Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries looks like every special education student I ever knew. You just start calling him United Way Jeffries, Time I see a picture of Hakeem Jeffries, I want to donate $5 to a charity. He just has that face. He has a milk carton face. Yeah. Leading report. Many American political influencers have been exposed as living outside the U.S. after X's new update. Indeed. I like Anna Paulina. Brittany Ray again. Guess if the location says North America, it's a Canadian. We have a huge problem. Yeah, you know the biggest account. Was it Cat Turd? Yeah, zero. Yeah, zero. I blocked this 0 hour guy. He's a little too much for me. Republicans against Trump. That's like out of Austria. Antunes. Where are they out of? Europe. USA polling out of Canada. Yeah, check it out. I mean, my whole feed is full of this stuff today. Ron Smith, based in Kenya. I'm wondering if they're like in the US, but they're just like using a VPN and sending it out to a foreign country just because they don't want to be. Maybe this Ron Smith is in the US, but he's just saying Kenya to throw people off. Don't know. Or Ron Smith could be a 90-pound marathon runner running with cheetahs. Who knows? Yeah, all these Groyper accounts in Belgium, Europe, United Kingdom. Breaking: President Trump announces he will pull all U.S. taxpayer dollars from Nigeria due to the genocide of Christians. Good, not a dime until the slaughter ends. Indeed. Leftists always downplay Christian massacres. You know that? They're always like, oh, it's not really happening, you know? And you're like, 50 Muslims kill, 100,000 Christians. And you're mad. It's like, oh, you're being Islamophobic. No. Or Groypers, New Zealand. Yeah, this was smart. Right-wing cope. North America. Garbage human. Australia. Yeah, Alex Soros lives in Niger, but meddles with America. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. I think it's shot out to another country, but it's just used to kind of, cover tracks or whatnot. Doing good work, Brittany Ray. We've had a few differences of opinion, but for the most part, we get along. Yeah, Trump, I guess, is rocking a turtleneck. Yeah, it's kind of a slow day today. No, it's Saturday. So what's going on in Chicago? Oh, I guess there was a shooting. It's very disheartening to see this holiday time. Everybody wants to celebrate and enjoy the evening, but something like this happens. Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson would rather have innocent people be caught in gunfire than be seen working with President Trump. True. Melinda Gates shares chilling text messages between Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Gates. He's got a mugshot out there from like the 70s. Can't remember what he did, but interesting guy. Interesting guy. Bill Gates and his fake food and his estrogen belly. You ever watch Beavis and Butthead in the 90s? Do you remember the neighbor, not Stuart, not the weird kid, but there were like these Boy Scouts called Patsies, and they were just like a bunch of nerds. I think they were actual literal Boy Scouts, but they would make fun of them, and they had these like glasses and high squealing voices, and kind of like nerdy kids. Kind of when Bill Gates talk. Oh, sorry. When Bill Gates talks, it reminds me of that character, the Patsies. Bill Gates. Remember when somebody threw a pie in his face? That was pretty funny. I don't like Bill Gates. Little smart ass. Ask him a question. He drinks out of that massive coffee cup. Like smug little asshole. The engineer out of Venezuela who actually built the algorithm stealing the election for Biden looked at me like I was an idiot and asked, "Do you think we stole the election here in the blue countries? We're smarter than that." I have a theory on how Trump won. I'm not going to say anything about the machines, but I've always wondered. I'm saying possibility. I'm not saying this happened, but theoretically, if there were votes being changed from far away, wouldn't it also be possible to stop those votes from being changed? I thought it was really funny how in the last election, we got the same narrative coming up to it. Oh, we may not know the results that night. We may have to wait a couple days. Every vote counts. That democracy bullshit. We're most likely not going to know the results tonight. And then, like clockwork, just like in 2016, we got the results. And I wonder, maybe votes weren't changed, but maybe there was a machine that stopped votes from being changed. Not saying, because immediately after Trump won, they threw that out there like, oh yeah, Trump rigged the machines, da, 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 da. Like after for 4 years saying that wasn't possible, like Dominion winning those lawsuits. And then Trump buying Dominion. Like, I don't know if Trump bought it, but like somebody associated with him bought it. And then like Crockett and Mark Elias basically saying like, oh yeah, we can't trust Dominion machines anymore. Like, what was that all about? Things that make you go, Things that make you go, What if last year there was a block set up so votes couldn't be changed from far away? And there were certain people in the United States of a certain party that were expecting those votes to change. So when that late night ballot drop went down, a woman from Los Angeles would have been pushed in front, and we would have somebody named Harris as president. I don't know. Just thoughts. Can't prove it, but it's a possibility. Is it a possibility that the night of the election, somebody in our country who has a lot of power created a firewall around the US so outside of the US nobody could hack in and change votes? Possible. Wouldn't be illegal. You're protecting the election. You're not. If he did that, he wouldn't be breaking any laws. But I just thought it was really interesting how, like, everybody got upset and they were like, "Oh, yeah, Trump cheated. He, what about the machines don't match? Da 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 da." Well, you know, having somebody with a lot of knowledge of technology in your pocket kind of is a good thing. They played their hand in 2020, and yeah, I'm wondering in 2028 if it's going to be like the same thing. Like, oh, fuck this, same day election, no more mail in ballots. Everybody vote. Here's what I want. If I was in charge of election, make election day a holiday. Okay. Encourage everybody to vote. Okay. Everybody votes on a paper ballot by local 5 p.m. Bipartisan counters, observers from both parties, election results that night, eliminate mail-in ballots, eliminate early voting, eliminate the only mail-in ballots are absentee, but every person getting an absentee ballot has to be verified, either military or foreign dignitary or living abroad. But that has to be sent in like a week before the election. And then, the results that night for everything, Senate, House. I guarantee you, if that happens, yeah, we would probably have some different results in blue states. Voter ID, mandatory. It always gets me how people are like, we can't have voter ID. The Democrats are some of the most racist people out there. Yeah, black people can't have voter. They don't know how to get an ID. Get out of here. That's what I would do for election day. But it's interesting about the last election. Really dodged a bullet. Defiant L's is out of Japan. Interesting. Got a couple minutes, and then I'm going to wrap it up. YouGov America, Germany. Fuck. There it is. Oh my god. This potentially, knowing where people are, this does more damage to the Democratic narrative or subversion than anything the Republicans in the House. I've said this, and okay, let me go back. I've said this every night, practically. I am not a fan of the Democratic Party. I like one or two people. I'm not a fan of the Republican Party. I like maybe a couple, maybe like 10 or 15 people, the House and Senate. Love Trump. Don't like everybody in his administration. But the Republicans in the House and Senate are useless. This does more than anything they've done over the last year. You ever notice how Mike Johnson kind of looks like Morty from Rick and Morty? Like grown up? Gee, Rick. I don't know. I got a discharge petition. Morty Johnson. I'm going to start calling him Speaker Morty Johnson. Dark MAGA is out of Thailand. Seriously. Verified since July 2024. It's all bullshit, folks, and it's bad for you. That's what George Carlin said. Bad Kitty Unleashed. Hey, they removed the country you signed up in. That was very valuable information. Yeah, that was. Nick Sodor joined in East Asia and Pacific. He could have been in Hawaii. I don't know. Account based in America. I mean, he's proved that he's an American. So yeah, I got no problems with Nick. I like Nick. He's a good guy. GOP senators trying to destroy Trump's peace deal between Russia, the United States, and Ukraine, who have stock portfolios heavily invested in the defense contracting industry, is a prime example of why insider trading cannot continue in Congress. And yes, it's happening, even though it's super illegal. What does Trump do with Ukraine? What does he do? I mean, at this point, it seems like Zelensky and everybody in Europe, they're just grounded in. I think you just need to walk away at this point. Wash your hands. Just take your stuff, take all of your stuff, walk out, and let the chips fall as they may. You know, the way that whole thing started, man, it sounded like escalation. You know, it just seemed like it, you know. But I mean, I guess if you wanted to make a peace deal, you would have to just do it super on the down low. Just make sure there's nobody who would leak it. Just maybe only 6 or 7 people. You know. But there's a lot of vested interest. Because it seems like anytime there's a peace deal or talk of a peace deal and they're close, it's already, you know, it's like the following happens, like announce peace deal. And then the next step is the EU, like Starmer and Macron. No. We, you know, Ukraine has to be part of this. Da, 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 da. And then people in Congress are like, oh, we got to sanction Russia to death. And then it's like the whole thing is, you know, I mean, if I were Trump, this is the hardest one. I mean, it seems like the Middle East is kind of chilled a little bit. But this is like the last frontier for world peace, I think. Because I mean, I have no idea how he's going to solve this one. Because, I mean, if I believe Zelensky and his whole administration is locked in with Europe and the deep state in the US, and you cannot, I mean, they would never allow peace to happen. You know, but Putin pulls some of his crap. So, I mean, you're dealing with two. See, I wonder if Putin was like, okay, you know, I'll restore everything pre-invasion or special operation or whatever. I'll just stop it. And we'll give you back all your territory. And then that's it. You know, we'll pull out. Everything is as is. I'd be curious if like the EU and I even think then they would still want the conflict to go on. I mean, I think the one thing you could do is Trump is just like, all right, no more military. We're pulling all our intelligence. We're pulling everything out. We're not involved with this anymore. It's between you and Russia. That's it. And with the Europe, we're not giving you any more money for this. You know, we're just done until you guys come to peace and find an agreement, and then just like twist our hand that way. But yeah, if Harris were president, I wonder if we would have US troops going over there by now. You know, I wonder how far of an escalation it would have been ratcheted up to. Anyways, well, that's that. That was just me kind of shooting the breeze, kind of like I do every night. Just observations, just looking at what's on the news, what's happening, giving general opinions. I'm not like a policy expert or anything like that. I'm just a man who's just observing what's happening in the world. And for those who are listening, thank you. If you've been listening every night, thank you as much as you can. I mean, I thank you as much as I can, for doing that. But I gotta go, and tomorrow's show will be at 7 o'clock. Fun show. Have a good night.